Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at the new Godox AD300 Pro version 2 flash. And of course this is an update to the original Godox AD300 Pro. And also full disclosure, they did send this flash out to me for review at no cost to myself, but I haven't been paid or sponsored. And as always, I'll give you my honest and fair opinion. All right, let's do a quick unboxing and see what's included. So we get this really nice carry case here with form-fitting foam. This is the flash itself. As you can see, it's relatively compact relative to the power output that it gives. The flash itself includes a nice little protective cover here for the bulb. We get a small reflector dish, which I'll talk a little bit more later. And we get the battery here, which just comes out. And this battery actually is interchangeable with my AD200. There may be some minor differences in specs, but for the most part, one works in the other and vice versa. And then down here, you can see we have a 1/4-20 screw here for mounting our light stand adapter. Over here, we have some LED lights here to indicate what group we're on. We have an optical trigger here. And then underneath here, we have a PC sync port and a USB-C port here. And this is strictly for updating the firmware, not for charging the battery. And then here on the back, we have our power on button. We have a dial here that's clickable, and then some other buttons here to do some controls. And we can switch the mode from TTL to manual to multi-strobe, and I'll get more into this later. Let me power this off. And there's the instruction manual down there. And they include a light stand adapter, a USB-C, a USB-C cable down there, battery cover, a power plug with a USB-C, and then also a USB-C charging adapter. Okay, so I've attached the light stand adapter. It simply screws in here because this flash is designed primarily to be used off camera. And some people have mentioned, just a quick note, that sometimes these two knobs kind of get in the way of each other when they're trying to tighten things down. The simple solution to that is just to take this one out on the bottom and then flip it around, and there's another hole here. You can just put it in on this side, and that eliminates that problem, and you can tighten this to your light stand. All right, let's come around to the business end because this is all new here with a new display. We have 4 buttons here: mode, menu, modeling light, and flash test button. And then we also have a scroll wheel that's clickable, and then the battery release. So to power this on, you push and hold the flash button and then scroll the wheel down. Now let's go into the menu, and I'll show you a couple of new things here. To navigate the menu, basically you just use the wheel to scroll up and down, and then you click on it to select. So if I want to select the wireless mode on or off, I can select that and then just turn the wheel to toggle between the two. And same thing for channel. And I can make adjustments here. But this is new down here. Rather than setting, say, channel, group, and ID number, you can just use the wireless sync function with, like, say, the X3 and the X3 Pro. So that's new for this model. And then, see, flash mode, there's something new in here as well. So we have normal mode, we have freeze mode, that's new, and then we have color mode. So the idea of freeze mode is basically it shortens the flash duration time, so you have a better ability to freeze things in motion. Say, for example, a water droplet or water spray. This will shorten the flash duration time to be able to do that. And it does that basically by lowering the flash output power. Now, you could just do that yourself manually by lowering the power. However, there is a reason they do this, and I'll explain that a little bit later. So let's go back in. And then color mode, of course, is basically trying to achieve consistent color shot to shot so that the color temperature doesn't change at the cost of maybe a little bit of light output. So this is not a bad mode. This is the one that I use the most. And then there's also something new with the modeling lamp. So let's go into the modeling lamp. So we'll push the modeling lamp button. And here we can turn it on or off. So we scroll down, and here we can set the light output of the modeling lamp. It's a 12-watt modeling lamp, but now we can adjust the color temperature. And it's off by about 10%, give or take. So if you want to achieve, say, 5,000 Kelvin, you need to put this closer to 55, maybe 56. And it's a little bit different. I'll show you that a little bit later. And then prop, or actually what that means is proportional, it adjusts the brightness of the modeling lamp relative to the flash output power. But you can still set the Kelvin temperature to anything you want here. So that's some of the fine print of the improvements that they did on the AD300 Pro version 2. You know, the new LCD display, the wireless sync, the bicolor LED lamp. Some of the other things you can't see is like they say they improved the heat management so that it's now rated for 80 full power flashes in normal mode and 50 full power flashes in high-speed sync mode before the heat management begins to kick in, and then your recycle times go from, say, 1.5 seconds of full power up to 4 to 10 seconds. And they recommend waiting about 10 minutes for the flash to cool down before you go back to normal recycle times. Okay, I want to show you how to pair the AD300 Pro 2 with the new X3 Pro trigger. Now there's a couple of ways to do this. There's one is the full manual way, and then there's also the new wireless sync mode. So what I like to do on the X3 Pro trigger is first I go into the wireless menu, and then I do scan. And what this is going to do is going to look for a clear channel in the environment that you're in so that you get less misfires. So we'll wait for that to finish. All right, so it's come up with a list of channels that we can use. So I'll just select the first one here, channel 9. And then let's also do ID number 2. This is basically like a sub-channel. Or actually, we'll make this even easier to remember. Channel ID 911. Okay, now let's go into the menu on the AD300 Pro 2. We'll go into the wireless menu, and then we'll just scroll down here to wireless sync. And we'll tap on that, and then we'll tap on the sync on the go through trigger, and you can see it just instantly connects. So now you can see we're on channel 9, ID 11. We'll hit cancel here, and we can go back out. Now we just have to decide what group do we want this flash to be in. Right now it's in group A, and whatever power setting that we set on the X3 trigger will control the flash. As you can see, I'm adjusting group A, and it's adjusting the flash power. However, if I wanted this flash to be in group B, I can go into the menu, go into the wireless menu, go down here, and say group B. And you can go up to group 9, which gives it 16 groups total. It can be controlled by. So now, if I go back out, you can see group B is now being controlled. Another nice thing is you'll notice that the LED now is color-coded with the LCD display on the flash, but also the LCD display on the trigger. So we have red for A, green for B, blue for C, and so on. All right, now that everything's connected, let's see how this flash performs outside, because they do advertise this as an off-camera outdoor flash. So over the last few days, I've been taking a lot of pictures both with and without the flash so you could see the difference. And when I had the exit date, I'll put that down as well. But as you can see in this shot, the before and after with flash is of course much better. I also tried in direct sunlight on a very, very bright day. I wanted to get a starburst, so I stopped down to f16, and I got this really nice shot here, I think, of the environment in my backyard here. And as you can see, without flash, I'm basically a silhouette. And then it got a little cloudy later in the day, so I wanted to get a little rim lighting because I didn't have the sun to help me do that. So I put the Godox V1 together with a Fresnel lens and a CTO gel, and then I put the AD300 in a softbox. And here's just a regular ambient light shot, and then here's a shot with the flash and softbox in high-speed sync actually. Now in this shot here, I wanted to make it look like it was taken more at night, so I used a high-speed sync to basically crush most of the ambient light, and I got this shot here. Now in this scene here, I wanted to take a shot of me inside the car, so I put the AD300 with a Fresnel lens to beam the light inside through the windshield. And as you can see in this shot, without flash, I'm very dark, but then when I use the flash, no problem at all. Now in this scene here, I wanted to include the environment around me, so I lowered the shutter speed down to 1/100th of a second so I'd have enough ambient light coming in, but I still wanted that starburst, so I cranked up to f16, And then I used the flash to fill in the subject, which is of course me in this case, and I think this shot came out pretty nice. Now this shot here is basically the straight out of camera without flash, and as you can see it's decently exposed, but the background is pretty much blown out and there was actually a nice sunset happening. So I used the flash of course to fill in the subject, myself in this case, but then the high-speed sync to crush the ambient light so that you could see the sunset behind me and some of the reflections on the snow. So overall, I think the AD300 Pro 2 performed really well as an outdoor flash. Of course, you can use the flash indoors, but it was bright enough to let me shoot at f16 so I can get my starburst at regular sync speeds. And then when I went into high-speed sync mode, it let me simulate like nighttime conditions and also to capture the sunset behind me when otherwise that would be a very difficult shot. Now, when it comes to some other metrics while I was using it, like the recycle times and battery life, again, the flash performed as expected. The 1.5-second recycle time was pretty accurate. I didn't run into any overheating problems because it was below freezing outside. But that said, the battery is rated for 350 shots, and I got 317 shots. And the flash didn't turn off. There's still a few shots left in it probably, but I was just kind of done for the day. So again, very good performance in cold weather. Okay, the last few things I want to mention is that if you don't already have a radio trigger for your Godox flashes, you definitely want to get the X Pro 3. I just love the large display here. It's very easy to read, much easier to control all the different settings. There's some tactile buttons here as well, and it's available for Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, Olympus. So this allows you to use your AD300 Pro 2 with just about any camera system. On the flash itself, you have a reflector which is easily detachable, and you can buy adapters or accessories like soft boxes and gobos that can attach directly to the flash. And if you need the ultimate portability, that's the way to go, but I recommend actually getting an S2 Bowens mount adapter from Godox, because what this does, and it fits in here perfectly, is this will allow you to use very large modifiers like the softbox that I showed in the video without putting any stress on the flash itself. All the weight is going to be carried by the adapter, because not only does it take the stress off the front mount here, and also inherently it protects the front element better, but it also takes the stress off this little 1/4-20 screw wrapped around in plastic, which, you know, you would attach your light stand modifier to. And now you're taking the stress off of this and off of the front of the mount. So this S2 adapter is, I would say, almost a must-have accessory to use modifiers like gobos and large softboxes. Now, if all you're going to use is like a small reflector, then yeah, you can buy one that directly fits in here. But, you know, for maximum versatility, the S2 mount adapter is the way to go. So I think Godox has come out with another winner here. I mean, the AD300 Pro 2 has some nice upgrades and refinements over the previous version. It performed well in the field, and it's relatively compact and lightweight given its light output of 300 watts. So that said, if you have the AD300 Pro version 1 already, you don't need to upgrade to this. But if you're thinking about adding more lighting to your setup, or maybe this is your first outdoor flash, I can highly recommend this. So that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.